Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Barrett. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Water Juice channel, and welcome back to episode number 2, year number 2 of the Arizona Cardinals 10-year rebuild here on Madden 23. In the last episode, we started up the 10-year process to try to build this Cardinals team back to what they could have been a few seasons ago when they had all this hype around them, with Arizona bringing in Cliff Kingsbury as the head coach. He was the hot young coach, bringing in Kyler Murray in the draft, first overall, after the previous season drafting Josh Rosen, first overall, not first overall, but in the first round. So they had a lot of hype around them. People thought that they brought in J.J. Watt, they brought in DeAndre Hopkins. Like, they had a lot of hype around them. People thought they were going to be really, really good. But as it happens with Cliff Kingsbury coached teams, it happened in college and it happened in the NFL. They start out really, really hot. They win a lot of games in the early going, and then they just completely fall off and they can't do anything. They made one playoff appearance and they got beat by the Rams. So now they're awful. Now they are god-awful. Kyler Murray hurt in real life, trying to come back from that injury in real life. We'll see what he does this next season coming in 2023-24. We'll see what he does in real life. But in this one, we finished one season. We had a fantastic draft where we drafted Will Anderson Jr., we drafted Jalen Carter. We have a great defensive future in terms of that. We traded away Budda Baker, and I have not decided yet whether or not to give myself that Texans pick, because in real life, the Cardinals traded with the Texans so the Texans could get Will Anderson Jr., so the Cardinals got their first-round pick. So I have not fully decided if we were going to do that or not. I might go ahead and do it just for like a little bit of realism, since I'm not really known as a realistic kind of guy when it comes to franchises, so I might add that in there just for a little bit of realism, but I haven't fully decided yet. Maybe by the time we simulate to the midway point, I will have decided, but we'll see what happens. But other than that, let's get into this second season and see if we can progress with some of our younger guys, get Kyler Murray a little bit more development, get the couple rookies, Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, and a bunch of other guys, get them to develop, and we'll see what we do. If you are enjoying the 10-year rebuilds, please hit that like button if you would go on to enjoy. Subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let me know down below what other team you would like to see with a possible 10-year rebuild down the line, because there's a couple other teams that I have in mind that are very bad that could use a 10-year rebuild. Without further ado, let's get into Season 2, year number 2 of the Arizona Cardinals, and let's see how we can fix this team even further. So here we are. It is year number 2, week 1 against the Cardinals, and as we always do, we set our season goals at the beginning of the season. I think we are going to go for 4 wins. We're going to shoot for the low. We are going to go for the low because I don't know how good we're going to be. Now, we could obviously exceed that. We are 77s across the board in terms of our overalls. We could exceed that, but I don't think we're ready just yet. That's right, we got Bijan too. I forgot about that. We drafted Bijan Robinson as well. So the offense is showing signs of improving. Kyler Murray, Bijan Robinson, Rondale Moore, Hollywood Brown, Russell Gage, we brought him in free agency. The offensive line still needs a lot of work. I'm not done with that yet. Tight ends are okay, I guess. The defense, we've added in Will Anderson Jr., we've added in Jalen Carter, we obviously have Isaiah Simmons and Jalen Thompson, we brought in Will McDonald as well. So there's some pieces, the building blocks are there. You can see the pieces starting to form on the defensive side of things and on the offensive side of things. We are probably going to trade James Conner at the end of the season, in the offseason. We might even trade Marquise Brown because I think his contract is up after this year. I think it was only a 2-year contract. So we might even trade Marquise Brown, see what we can get for him. But without anything else really to do in the beginning of this, I think it's time to go. I think it's time to simulate to the midseason mark. And I probably am going to give myself the Texans' first-round pick from this year because I want to add a little bit of realism. So hope you guys aren't too mad about that. It probably isn't going to matter too much because I think the Texans are a okay team. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. But I'll see you guys at the midseason mark, probably with the Texans' first-round pick. We've made it to the midseason mark. We are 3-4 currently on the season, tied with the 49ers and the Seahawks for second place. Everybody is behind the Rams. We're doing okay. We are doing pretty fine. This is around where I thought we would be this season. We have a little bit of bad morale for Bijan, but that's not too bad. Why has he not gotten over? Oh, he's super close. I was going to say he should have already seen what his development trait is. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be superstar. I would hope it's superstar at least. On the defensive side of things, we know Will Anderson is superstar development. We know Jalen Carter is star development. Not a big deal. And Kingsley Keke has gone up to star. He was normal, wasn't he? Was he normal? I think he was normal development at the start of the season. He has gone up to star, which changes plans for him. Like, I was just going to move on from him because he wasn't really worth it. But if he's a star development player at only 26 years old, his future could be a little bit more stable here in Arizona. I don't know. We got a little bit of bad morale because we're losing games. I have not looked at the mock draft yet. I don't know what we have. I did make the trade for the Texans pick, so we have 2 first-round picks. We currently have number 3, and we have number 11. I'm assuming that's the Texans pick up here. This is probably the Texans pick, and this is our pick. So we have 2 first-round picks this year, but we have no second-round pick. So we're going to have to figure it out. It looks like there's a receiver, there's a quarterback and a running back, and then a pass rusher, which I'm not mad at. I do like the fact that there's a good left end. But so far this... Hello, who is this? Who are you? Brandon Childress. 6'4" vertical. Oh, if he had elite speed, he'd be a freaking generational. But he looks really good. I meant to keep my eye on him. He looks really good. This looks like a good offensive line class. To be fair, it's usually good offensive line classes in these auto-generated draft classes. I told you that last season in episode 1 was going to be the only year where we had real-life people. And then every year after is going to be auto-generated, so that's what we're doing. Free agents, yeah, I said Marquise Brown was going to need a new contract, but we're probably not going to bring him back. Although $60 million total is not like a crazy amount of money for Marquise Brown. Everybody else, Kingsley Keke, we are going to bring back because now he's star development, so that changes things. I probably wouldn't have brought him back if he wasn't. But everybody else, just, I mean, we don't really need them, and we can save that money. Rashad Fenton, I'll bring back because he's still young, so I'll bring him back. Zach Pascal can leave, and I think we'll trade Marquise Brown. I don't think we need him too much because Rondale Moore in previous simulations has proven he can be a number 1 receiver. But I'm hoping that we can get ourselves a true number 1, like a 6'2", 6'3", big body receiver. That's what I'm hoping to get as a big number 1. But that's basically all we have to do here at the midseason mark. Let's go to the playoffs. Maybe we'll be involved. I wouldn't expect us to be, but you never know. Let's go find out. All right, here we are at the playoffs, and for anybody that might have thought we were going to make the playoffs, including me, when we started the season 3-4, we didn't. We finished the season 4-13, so we won one more game after the midseason mark. But that's not a big deal because we didn't want to make the playoffs anyway. We're still in the rebuilding process. We still got 7 more years after this episode, so we've still got plenty of time to start the rebuild and keep it going. And then once we get past that halfway point, that's when we really get going. But obviously, I would like to achieve it a little earlier, but that's going to take some getting used to. That's going to take some time. It's Cowboys-Bengals in the Super Bowl. I'm going to pick the Bengals, and it was the Cowboys. Okay. So we have $124 million in cap space, a ton of room to work with. I'm hoping the free agent class is really good. Cowboys win the Super Bowl with Donovan Wilson as the MVP. Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor, Coach of the Year and MVP. Miles Sanders, Hassan Reddick are the offense-defense players of the year, and C.J. Stroud and Brian Branch are your offense and defensive rookies of the year. I was hoping it'd be Will Anderson and Bijan Robinson. It is not. So let's go to the re-sign period and see what we do about Hollywood Brown. Now that we freed up even more money, we could re-sign Hollywood Brown. It's not like out of the question. I wouldn't say it's totally like we're just gonna trade him immediately. Any big retirements? Andy Dalton retires, Demario Davis and Cam Jordan. Nick Folk went back to the Jets and retires. Cordell Patterson, Lane Johnson, David Quessenberry, Von Miller, Roger Saffold, AJ Green, Robert Quinn, Tyrod Taylor. Who else? Nobody really of note. Not that crazy of a retirement class. Cam Newton there as well. The Hall of Fame class will not be like overly hyped this time around, I wouldn't think. But players that are ready to negotiate. It's just Hollywood Brown and then Kiki. Is Kiki up to... He's went down to normal. Well, that doesn't make any sense. How bad of a season did he have? I'm not sure how bad of a season he had. I need to take a look at the lineups. He shouldn't have went down to normal. He had a good beginning of the year. Did he not finish well? I'm not sure. We'll check the stats in a second. Bijan is X Factor. Oh, baby. Okay. Bijan is X Factor. I like that. I like that a lot. Will Anderson, superstar. He got moved over to the left side. I don't hate that, but then also that doesn't allow for Will McDonald to play. Then we got Jalen Carter still at star. We got to go check the stats. Rashad Fenton also went down to normal. What happened? Why did they go down? Let's take a look at the stats. If their stats are not horrible, I'm going to move them back up. Kyler Murray in the second season, 4,400 yards, 24 touchdowns, 11 picks. Picks? Not a bad year. Not a bad year. Bijan had 831 yards, 7 touchdowns. James Conner had 11 touchdowns. Then we had Rondale Moore. See, this is what I'm talking about. Rondale Moore with 1,100 yards and 2 touchdowns. He can be a number one. Russell Gage, 964 and 8 touchdowns. Marquise Brown had 906 and 2 touchdowns. Sam Laporte had 6 touchdowns and 700 yards. Defensively, wow, a lot of 100-plus tackle seasons. Zaven Collins had 120. Will McDonald had 109. Fenton had 103 and 2 interceptions. Why would he go down? I don't understand it. Isaiah Simmons had 102. Marco Wilson had 80. Where's Kingsley Kiki? 48 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, and a sack. I mean, it's not a fantastic year, but it's not really anything to drop him down to normal. I feel like that's a little harsh to drop him down to normal. Jalen Carter had 53 tackles, 3 sacks in his rookie year. Jalen Thompson had 2 sacks, 2 interceptions, 72 tackles. Will Anderson Jr. had 10 sacks in his rookie season, 75 tackles. Crazy numbers from the boys, and that should have led the team by a big margin. Oh my God. 10 sacks for him leads the team by a lot. I'm moving those guys back up. I don't care. I mean, Rashad Fenton did not have a bad year by any means. I don't know why he would have went down. The only thing I can think of is because morale dropped him down. But even that, like, I don't know. So Rashad Fenton's going up to star, and Kingsley Kiki probably is going to go up to star. I mean, he didn't have a season where it's outright, oh, he had such a bad year, he should be down to normal. He had an okay season, and he was already at star that he went up to in the beginning of the year. So he's going to stay at star. And then we'll re-sign him. He's going to stay at star, and we'll re-sign him. So congratulations to you, Kingsley Kiki. You go up, and I just noticed that James Conner went down to normal, so he's definitely getting the boot. He's definitely getting the boot out of here, especially because Bijan is a freaking X Factor, which is amazing. So Kingsley Kiki, where are you? Welcome back to the squad on a 3-year contract. He appreciates the offer, but he's going to test free agency? Really, Kingsley? Really? After I just did all this defense for you, you're going to screw me like that? And the franchise tag is $20.5 million. I'm not giving you the franchise tag. I'll just pick you back up in free agency. Dear Lord, I didn't realize it was going to be that tough to bring him back or to re-sign him. I thought he would accept that for sure. Let's trade Hollywood Brown. Just because. What's our draft picks looking like? Pick 1. We got the number 1 pick. Oh, baby. Let's go. And we got pick 5. I'm guessing that's from the Texans. But we don't have a second round pick. Oh, baby, baby. Number 1 pick. Let's go trade Hollywood. He's making a ton of money. Let's get a receiver back in return, probably. Who can we trade? Who needs a receiver? Actually, we probably don't even need to get a receiver back because we could get somebody else, I guess. We need a right tackle, really, or a middle linebacker. Ooh, maybe we trade for a middle linebacker. But let's see, who could use Hollywood Brown? Not the Dolphins, not the Eagles. They've got DeAndre Hopkins. The Falcons could use Hollywood. The Giants certainly could use him. The Packers could use him. Panthers. You know what? Give me the Packers. Let me go talk to them. I want Christian Watson, and I want... Who's your middle linebacker? Or left outside linebacker or anything? They've got Quay Walker. Ooh. Give me both of those guys, and give me a second-round pick. And you can have Hollywood Brown. I will take this deal. Will you take it? They won't take it. That second-round pick... I mean, they might value Quay Walker a little bit. I don't know. But let's go to the draft picks. I will give you a third-round pick next year. And that almost gets it done. I can also give you... What do you need? You need a right tackle. So do I. You need left outside linebacker. I have Dimukeji. Do you want Dimukeji? I don't want him. You can have him. Ooh, that put it a little bit closer, but not enough. They need a right outside linebacker. I have Myjai Sanders. Do you want Myjai? No, they don't want him. They also need a receiver. Well, you're getting Marquise Brown. They need a quarterback, but I only have Kyler and then Chris Streveler. So you can't really have anything there. I can give you James Conner, but I probably want to trade. You know what? I could probably get a second-round pick for James Conner. So I don't even have to get a second-round pick here. I could just go straight up for these two guys. And then, actually, I could probably get a draft pick, I guess. Maybe they give me a third. Is that a little bit better? How about I'll go for next year. How about you give me a next year 3? And then we call that a deal. No? What about just this? Wow. So I got to give stuff up for just that. I'll give you a next year 4. Trade offer accepted. So Hollywood heads to Green Bay. We'll see if they re-sign him. And we get back 2 young, pretty decent players in Quay Walker and Christian Watkins. They have to give up a next year 4. Not too mad about that. And then we can trade James Conner for a second-round pick. I think his value can get us a second-round pick. So James Conner will go away. And we can get a second-round pick from Chicago. Actually, who needs a running back, actually? Who needs a running back? I'm going to go to the actual running back team. So who could use James Conner? None of these guys so far. Maybe the Dolphins could use James Conner, I guess. That could be very interesting. Who else? Everybody's got a pretty solid running back. Patriots would be interesting. They could use him. Ravens, maybe. All right, so we got a few options. We got the Dolphins. We got the Ravens and the Patriots. So let's talk to the Dolphins first. Their pick is pick 49. What about the Ravens and Patriots? Pick 45, pick 59. Let's talk to the Patriots. They've got the highest of the second-round picks. So let's talk to the Patriots. Second-round pick for James Conner is not going to go through. So let's go back to the Dolphins and talk to them about their second-round pick. What's that say? Oh, they don't have cap space. So let's go to the Ravens then and talk to the Ravens about their second-round pick. It's pick 59. They should accept this. Wow, James Conner can't even get us a second-round pick? I thought he had more value than that. The receiving room is interesting. We'll see how it works out. Oh, we got to trade Zach Pascal as well. Forgot about that. That moved it up a little bit. But if I throw in, oh, I don't know, maybe a 5th-round pick next year. Maybe that gets it done. Trade offer accepted. So James Conner, Zach Pascal, and a 5th next year, this year, for a 2nd this year. So now we have 2 firsts and a 2nd. The 2nd's a little late, but I'll take it. Who do they have us drafting in the mock? They have us taking that left end, which is maybe what I do. He seems to be pretty good. I'm going to have to go through and take a look at some of these guys just to see exactly who my favorites are, because I have not done that yet. But now let's move to free agency. So we freed up some more cap space. We have gotten rid of some guys, and we have a lot of money. Let's see what the class is looking like. Please be good. Nick Bosa. Yikes, I want Nick Bosa. And Lamar Jackson. And Mike Evans. Okay, this is a good class. I'm happy we have a lot of money because this is a very good class. We're going to stick with Kyler, even though there's some very good options here, but nobody wants to be here. Running back, we could use a backup since we just got rid of James Conner, but I don't want to spend too much money on any of these guys. So maybe we go with, I mean, Cam Akers wants to be here. He's got nobody offering him. Neither does DeAndre Swift. We'll come back to that. We'll see what happens. Receivers, we just brought in Christian Watson. We have Rondell Moore, and we have Russell Gage. But Brandon Ayuk, oh, baby. I don't know if I can pass up on Brandon Ayuk. I'm going to offer Brandon Ayuk a contract. Got to. Absolutely have to offer Brandon Ayuk a contract. 26 years old, 88 overall. We'll see what we can do with him. Tight end, Gerald Everett, Noah Fant. Noah Fant's only 26 years old. Like, he's not as bad as you think. Noah Fant for a 4-year contract, I don't really like that, but we'll see what happens here. We go ahead of the Saints. The Saints are lowballing him. Very interesting. Jedrick Wills, but I don't want to. He doesn't want to be here, and I don't want to compete for that. We can work on the offensive line in the draft. Let's see. Offensive lineman, Aaron Brewer. We have 3 more offers in this little first evaluation period. Let's see. Who do we want? Not really a great offensive lineman class. There's Kingsley Keke. He's got nobody interested. Just come back, Kingsley. I was going to offer you the 3-year deal. Just come back. I don't know why you declined in the first place. You're not going to get market value. So just come back, Kingsley. So that's the third one. Derek Brown and Ed Oliver. We might be and I don't have enough valuation left because I spent it on Kingsley Keke. I should have waited because Nick Bosa's here, and so is Devin White, and so is Ed Oliver. Oh, but Ed Oliver's got 6 teams interested. Derek Brown's only got 1 team interested. But Ed Oliver is a little bit more interested. And Ed Oliver's faster. Not as strong. And he's a little bit cheaper, too. I'm going to offer Nick Bosa, just because he's freaking Nick Bosa. If we could bring in Bosa, it'd be fantastic. So a 4-year contract for Bosa, that it doesn't even... What are the Chiefs offering him? Oh, my God. What are the Chiefs offering Nick Bosa? Dear Lord, I'll give him a 6-year contract. That'll take us really deep into the rebuild. I'll give him 18 across the board. What are the Kansas City Chiefs offering Nick? We can't get him. We can't get Nick Bosa. What are the Kansas City Chiefs offering? I need to see this contract. What are they offering him? The contract that I just offered, 18 million signing bonus plus 18 million every year. What are they offering him? I mean, Nick Bosa wants 31.8 per year. That's a little insane. So forget about Nick Bosa. That frees us up to now get Devin White, which is good, or at least offer Devin White. I'm not saying that we're going to get him, but at least frees us up to offer him. So I am going to do that. We'll see where that puts us there. That puts us ahead of the Carolina Panthers. That doesn't always guarantee that we're going to get him, but it does put us ahead by a decent amount. So we have one more offer to do. Do we use it on Christian Wilkins? That's an option. Or do we use it on one of these 2 guys? I really want to use it on one of these 2 guys, but we have Jalen Carter, so we don't necessarily need these guys. It would just be like icing on top of the cake to get them. So we don't necessarily need either one of these guys. So I think the smarter idea is to go for like a Christian Wilkins or a Montez Sweat. Although, there is the option to go for corner. Although the corners are kind of old at this point. Nick Needham's only 27, I guess. Winfield is young. Jordan Poyer's not really... Okay, so it's either one of these 2 guys or it's one of these 2 guys. And I think we're gonna go for Christian Wilkins. Although Montez Sweat is so fast. 91 speed, 94 excel. He's more versatile than Christian Wilkins, although Wilkins can probably play D-tackle too, so we can move him to D-tackle, but Sweat could play outside linebacker. Oh, this is tricky. This is tricky. I think I'm going to offer Wilkins. I'm going to offer Wilkins a contract. We'll see where this puts us. I know the interest level's not there, but maybe the money makes him want to come here. We're battling with the Falcons. I could move the money up a little bit more. I don't want to go too crazy. Does that push us ahead? It puts us ahead of the Falcons. Now, it's not a guarantee he's going to accept it, but it does put us ahead of the Falcons. So, our current offers, I can't believe what are the Chiefs offering this man? They are spending their entire city budget on Nick Bosa. So, our targeted guys, the Commanders came in and actually jumped us. Are Christian Wilkins, Brandon Ayuk, Devin White, Noah Fant, and Kingsley Keke. I shouldn't have used my one of my spots in the first round on Kingsley Keke, but it's okay. Let's do the evaluation period and see who we get. Everybody but Keke is signed. Who did we get? Please tell me it's at least a couple of the guys. We got Ayuk, we got Devin White, we got Noah Fant. So we didn't get Christian Wilkins, who signs with the Commanders. The Commanders came in and stole him at the last second. Montez Sweat signs with the Bears. Okay, but I'm happy. We got a big receiver to go alongside Rondell Moore and Christian Watson. We got a big middle linebacker, and we got another tight end. I like that. I like that a lot. And we're still working on Keke. Herbert has not accepted yet. Very interesting. Jerry Jeudy's still available. Tyler Boyd. There's a couple good receivers in this class. I said I wanted to come back to the running backs, and I think I might now. Let's go for Cam Akers because he actually wants to be here. A 5-year contract. I'm not sure about that, buddy. Maybe a 3-year deal, and I'll bump the money up a little bit more to make you happy. You kind of want to be here. And we'll go to the... Okay, we're ahead of the Falcons. I don't know if that's going to work or not. We'll see what happens there. Is there any more receivers I want to try to bring in? Curtis Samuel could be cool. But there's not really anybody. I think we're fine with what we have here. We brought in Noah Fant, so we don't need to worry about that. Offensive line. The offensive line's not going to be good this year. But there's just nobody that I want to spend any money on. There's just not anybody that I want to spend any money on on the offensive line. Ed Oliver and Derek Brown both signed. Not surprising. Javon Kinlaw also signed. Man, I really wanted Christian Wilkins. I thought we'd be able to get him. But he signs with the Commanders. The Bears get Montez Sweat, so we don't get either one. And there's not really anybody else that I want to offer. We might as well just keep our money because I'm not seeing anybody else that even piques the interest a little bit, except for maybe Akeem Davis-Gaither. We'll see. Corners, Nick Needham, 27. Do I want to spend that money? Jordan Fuller, just not a high enough overall. You know what? I think we will go. I'll offer Akeem Davis-Gaither a contract. I know he's not super interested. And we'll offer... Who was the other guy? We will offer... Who was it? I forget who it was now. Who was it? I don't remember who it was. Was it on the defensive line? No, it wasn't Kingsley Keke. I don't remember who it was that I was talking about with Akeem Davis-Gaither. I've forgotten. Who was it? I don't honestly remember who it was. Oh, it was Nick Needham. That's right. It was Nick Needham. I don't know why I forgot that. I just completely blanked on who it was. He wants to be here. We'll offer him a contract, see what he says. We're ahead, so let's go to the targeted. The Falcons have come in on Cam Akers, so I'll have to bump up the money. Not the 5. Why does he want a 5-year contract? We'll offer him that, and that puts us ahead by far. We are ahead of everybody else. Let's do the evaluation. So we signed Nick Needham and Kingsley Keke. Okay, and then our final evaluation. Those two guys signed. Did we sign them? We did not. We didn't sign Cam Akers? He signed with the Falcons. Wow. Who was the other guy? I forget. God, I'm horrible with freaking memory. I forget who the other guy was. It doesn't matter because we got Nick Needham and we got Akeem Davis-Gaither. So, you know what? Let's just save the rest of the money. Let's just save the rest of the money and we'll go into the draft period with, I think, a better team now. And we have the first overall pick, so we're looking very good. We're looking very good. We have 2 top 5 picks, I think. I think we have 2 top 5 picks. And we have a decent amount of cap space as well. Mock draft number 4 has us taking Mitchell Robinson, not the New York Knick. Where did that left end go? He fell all the way down the board? Is he that bad? There he is. He fell 13 spots. I'm going to have to take a look at him and see how good he is. But we have 2 top 5 picks. And we don't need a quarterback. So that's good. We're going to find out. We're going to keep simulating. Okay. I think I'm going to cut it off here. And I'm going to go do all the like scouting stuff, get my favorites list figured out. And then I'll cut back when the draft is ready. So we picked up the 5th-year option for Zaven Collins. I don't hate that. I think it's a pretty good move to pick up. So let's go here to the free agency recap, and then I'll take a look at the mock draft 5. I'll do all that kind of stuff. I can't believe that lineman, or that defensive lineman, he fell all the way down to 14. I guess that could help us out because then we could possibly trade down and still get him. I don't know. But I'm going to go and do the private workouts. I'm going to get the favorites board all figured out, and then I'll cut back when we're ready for the draft. Okay, so I did all the stuff. I got my favorites list figured out. I went through all the positions, looked at all the good players and all that stuff, and I did the private workouts. I used it on one of them on Brandon Childress, this tight end from Penn State, who is 6'4", is not generational, I don't think, but he's got a ton of really good skills. He's a big-time player. He could be an option for us. We didn't find out exactly if his true talent is top 5 pick, but he looks really, really good. There's also this running back, Walt Hurts, who is one of the fastest running backs I've seen in an auto-generated class in a while. Plus, he's got good ball carrier vision, A ball carrier vision, A spin move, B trucking, B carrying. He looks like a pretty good running back, and he's 5'11", 225, so he's a little meatball. He looks really, really good. I also took a look at that, what's his face, Marquise Glass, the guy that we've been thinking about taking. He's not worth the number 1 overall pick. He's got marginal speed. If we do take him, it's not going to be in the first round. So he's probably going to get taken by somebody else. He just doesn't look as good as I thought he was going to look. So if he falls, then we can take him a little bit later. But he's not a first-round talent, in my opinion. I don't think he is. The other guy that I used it on was this guy, George Yankee, who looks like a very good athlete, very solid defensive tackle. A power moves, A pursuit, A hit power, B impact blocking. He looks very good. There's also this guy as well, Spencer Winslow, who I would be very happy to draft. So either one of those D tackles I'd be happy with, but especially Spencer Winslow. And I didn't use my thing on him because I figure he's already projected to be better than George Yankee, so I wanted to know more about Yankee than I did about Winslow. So I used it on him, and I used the other one on, who did I use it on? This guy, Michael McIntyre. He's a left outside linebacker from Michigan State, pass coverage guy, but the reason I use it on him is because he has elite acceleration and elite speed. That is why I chose him. He's got A man coverage, A catching. He's like I said, he's got A zone coverage well. He's a pass coverage linebacker, but he's got speed. He's got those wheels. So I've got some ideas for the first overall pick. We'll figure out what we want to do. Let's start drafting and get to the good stuff. So if we go to make our selection, we have pick 1 and pick 5. This running back, Walt Hurts, is probably going to go top 5. Maybe even top 3. The only problem is we don't necessarily need a running back because we have Bijan. And taking a running back in the top 5 when you have Bijan is probably not the smartest idea. But he just looks very good. Now, Brandon Childress, I would consider taking, but not at number 1. Especially because I don't think he's generational. If he was generational, it'd be a different thing. But I don't think he's generational. So I think what we're going to do is, and Mitchell Robinson just doesn't look as good as some of the other potential players down the list in terms of like tackles. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to trade the first overall pick, and we're going to trade down in the draft, see what we can get. I would prefer 2 first-round picks. This one's I like that one with the 49ers. Moving down to pick 5 would not be too bad. But what about if I move down to pick 4? Let's try to trade with the Jets. Let's call up New York and say, hey, you guys need a quarterback? There's a quarterback on the board. Do you want to trade up to pick number 1? You give me pick 4, and we'll go from there. The Bears could also be an option at pick 3. But let's go to the Jets. They need a quarterback. You give me pick 4, but you also give me a second-round pick this year and the first-round pick next year. And we talk about that. Or not. You give me a third-round pick this year. Or not. You give me 2 first-round picks. You don't want to move up? You don't want to move up for a quarterback? You need a quarterback and you don't want to move up for one? What are we talking about here? What are we absolutely talking about? You need a quarterback and you don't want to move up. It's blasphemy. I'll give you Myjai Sanders because we brought in Akeem Davis-Gaither. So you can have Sanders, and I'll give you a freaking 4th-round pick. How's that? No, you gotta give me. I need 2 first-round picks. It's just what I need. So I guess we will go talk to Chicago. You might have missed out, Jets. You might have missed out. I'm gonna need 2 first-round picks. What's the Bears pick next year? Projected at pick 17. That's much more valuable to me, much less valuable to them. So this is what I ask. They say no. What about just the 2 picks? They say no. Why does nobody want to give me 2 first-round picks? It's the number 1 overall pick. It's the number 1 overall pick in the draft. It's not like I'm giving them a bunch of crap. I'm giving them the number 1 overall pick. And they say, yeah, we're good. I need to get a second first-round pick out of this. I feel like I need to. But I don't think I'm going to be able to. How about you give me that? They say no to that. What about you give me a first and a second? Oh my God. I might as well just take the 49ers and pick 10. I thought I could be able to trade up or trade down a couple of spots. I'm not asking to trade down like crazy amounts. But whatever. I guess I'll move down to pick 10 because the 49ers are offering me. I mean, they're willing to give me a pick, but I want 2 first-round picks, and the 49ers are willing to offer me that. Nobody else is willing to offer me that in a reasonable spot. Like, the Jets are offering me their first-round pick, but they don't want to give me a second one as well. And of the other ones that are offering me first-round picks aren't giving me other first-round picks in return. But the 49ers are willing to do that, so I will accept their pick. 49ers can go up and make whoever they want the first overall pick. Congratulations. You have the first overall pick, and you take the running back. Okay. Whatever, man. You take the running back. Marquise Glass, that was the guy we had our eye on, but I just didn't think he was worth it. Jelani Cook goes 3, and the Jets, they get their quarterback at 4, so they probably thought, you know what, we can get our quarterback no matter what. And it worked out. They got their quarterback anyway, and they didn't have to give up a lot for him. So now here's the real question. Do we take Brandon Childress top 5, or do we wait and take one of these these defensive linemen a little bit later? Ooh. Some very interesting things to talk about here. What are we looking for? Multiple first-round picks? Not a whole lot. The guys that are offering me first-round picks, 2 first-round picks, are drafting pretty far themselves. Yeah, I mean, the Falcons are picking in 29. So I'm either going to have to trade back to pick 11, get a second-round pick next year. I could go back to pick 12, get a second-round pick this year and a sixth-round pick this year. Or just the Patriots at pick 13. Do we trade back to pick 13? I mean, we have pick 10. But that might be a little bit too far back is my only worry. That might be a little bit too far back. The Vikings at pick 11 isn't that far back. Or pick 8, I should say. It's pretty much between the Buccaneers, the Vikings, and the Patriots. And I think the Vikings are the safer bet because it's only 3 spots. So none of those D tackles I don't think would be gone by then. Because I definitely want to take at least one of them. So the Vikings move up. They get Mitchell Robinson. The Colts take Keon Collins. The Titans take Von Marion. Those D tackles are still there. Brandon Childress is still there. We've got to take one of them with one of these picks. Either this one or pick 13 or whatever we have. Pick 10, whatever it is. I just don't think that he's generational. If he had elite speed and elite acceleration, I would consider taking him. I mean, he looks really good. He does look very good. But I'm going to take Spencer Winslow because he got elite speed. And elite jumping. And great strength. Great acceleration. He just looks like an all-around great player. So, Spencer Winslow, welcome to the team at pick number 8. He's going to be backing up Jalen Carter. Maybe he turns out to be better than Jalen Carter. I don't know. He's also from Georgia, I just saw. So, we got 2 Georgia D tackles. Good for us. George Yankee, the other D tackle, goes to the Panthers the very next pick. And here we are. Do we take Brandon Childress? Or do we take a lineman? Offensive lineman. Because we do need offensive line. Badly. Very badly. We need an offensive line. Oh, I just don't know. I just don't know what to do. We don't have another pick in the first round. We have Noah Fant, so it's not like we need him. It's not like we need the tight end. But we need offensive lineman bad, and we need corner. And I might even move Will McDonald up here to play edge rusher. We need offensive linemen so bad. We really do. So I'm going to forget the tight end. We need offensive linemen very badly. Very, very badly. So let's figure out who we're going to take. Clyde Buckley looks like a very solid player, and so does Ross Ware. Ross Ware looks like a very good offensive lineman, left guard style player, but his injury is at an F, so he could get injured a lot, which is something that's concerning me. But Clyde Buckley looks like a very good tackle. We can move him to right tackle since we do need a right tackle. I think I'm going to take Clyde Buckley. He's hidden development. We needed offensive line so bad. And that's the first piece to the puzzle. So Clyde Buckley goes to us. Ross Ware goes the very next pick to the Buccaneers. There goes Brandon Childress. But I just couldn't take him. I couldn't validate taking him when we need so much on the offensive line. So it just wouldn't have made sense. So we're going to go past the first round and into the second round. Hopefully a lot of the guys on my board are still there. We might even have to trade up because we have pick 27 in the second round, but that might be a little bit too far back. A lot of guys, names that I recognize are getting taken. There's the Texans at pick 30. Bengals, and then the Cowboys. Okay, so we start round 2. Let me view the draft board just in a second. Let me see my favorites list. So, a lot of the offensive linemen are still on the board, which is good. Michael McIntyre is still here. And there's still one corner on the board that we have. Okay. Is Jonathan Robinson, does he have elite speed? What's his speed looking like? He's only got great speed. So, I would prefer Michael McIntyre. And I would probably prefer one of these offensive linemen. Okay, we can think about this. Let's go a little bit deeper into the second round. Make it a little easier to trade if we need to. Keep going. There goes Pat Bowen. He was on my board. Texans have another pick. They could take Demarius Givens, Marquise Thorpe, Edward Dalton, Alante Woods, LaShawn Towns, Kevin Brooks. There goes Marcus Mumphrey. I looked at him. He wasn't on my board, but I looked at him. Ben McIntosh, Eric Mobley, Doug Mays. There goes Corey Olson. So that was one of the big offensive linemen that I was looking at. So now might be a reasonable spot to move up. Because Braden Jenkins and Michael McIntyre are both round 2 to 3, but they could go a little bit earlier. And I don't want them to. I want both of them. So we're going to have to make some moves. Let's talk to Miami. See what they want for their second round pick. So Miami Dolphins, what do you want? Pick 49 in the second round. I will give you, we have pick 59. I'll trade you pick 59 to move up 10 spots. And I'll give you a 7th rounder, and I'll give you a 6th rounder next year. They accept the trade. We move up to get one of the two that I want. I'm gonna take, who do we take? Do we take the guard or we take the outside linebacker? I think we take the guard, and then I'll trade back up to get the linebacker McIntyre. He's only normal development Braden Jenkins, but I think he's a good player, and he probably can start right away for us. So let's move a little bit further. Try to make it easier for me to trade. We have pick 8 in the 3rd round. I need to take a look at the board and see when he's projected to go. So he's still decently down the board, so we can pretty much skip a couple more picks. Although teams have been known to reach a little further down the board, so we got to be careful. There goes Paul Brown, Donovan Winston. Michael McIntyre taken by the Commanders. Michael McIntyre taken by the Commanders. He probably has hidden development too. The only people left on my board are Jonathan Robinson and Caleb Balmer. I'm going to take Jonathan Robinson. He's probably not as good as Michael McIntyre is going to be. Oh, that's annoying, man. That's so annoying. Why did you have to take him? He wasn't that valuable to you. You didn't have to take him. Let's see, 2025 picks. Who's giving me 2025? We can get a 3rd rounder from a couple of teams, from the Eagles and from the Vikings. Everybody's giving me 7th round picks. I don't want 7th round picks, but I'll take it because we get a 3rd rounder, and then we go into the 4th round. Is there an offensive lineman left on the board that might still be sneaky good? We'll find out. Anybody here that could be sneaky good? What about you, Zach Peterson? Not as bad as what, I mean, he has F pass block power, so that's not promising. Not really used. So Zach Peterson's about the best left at left tackle. What about you, Braxton Steinbach? Not the greatest athlete. And we don't know what those ratings could be. That's a pretty wide range. Okay, Bryce Callaway. Not good athlete. Not that worth it. Nope, not worth it at all. What about Steve Boston? Not a great athlete. Not worth it. So the offensive lineman classes are starting to fall away. What about Ross Banks? I remember taking a look at you. You were an okay athlete. He has decent numbers. Felix Robertson, an average athlete, not really good at anything else. I'll take Ross Banks. I don't know if that's going to be a good idea. He's only normal development. He might end up starting for us. Who knows? Who freaking knows? And I think I'm just going to end the draft right there. There's not really anybody else that I'm going to be willing to take. This draft didn't end up being as good as I wanted it to. Mainly that's because we didn't get Michael McIntyre. But who knows if he's even that good? He might have just looked okay. Maybe he's not actually that good. I don't know. So our class is Braden Jenkins actually a 75, so he's gonna slot right into the left guard spot. Buckley's gonna start at right tackle. Winslow is gonna be behind Carter at D tackle. Ross Banks is a 66, so he probably won't start. They drafted Caleb Balmer, who's a kicker. Who's his kick power at? He was on my board. That's probably why they drafted him. Where's his kick power at? His kick accuracy is a 72. What's his kick power? Does it not have his kick power? I don't know. I don't care, to be honest with you. I guess we could just look at him. Then they also took we took Jonathan Robinson, and then they took Antoine Bradley, a right tackle. But our left tackle is going to move over to right tackle. So let's see. What's his... Oh, this is Jonathan Robinson, not the kicker. Where's Balmer at? Balmer right here. Caleb Balmer. What's his kick power and accuracy? He's only 5'9". He's got 92 kick power, 72 accuracy. So whatever. Let's take a look around the rest of the league. Who was the best player? It was 85 overall, Walt Hurts. Oh, that one hurts. That one hurts not taking him. He was by a huge margin. He was the best player in the class. Man. There's Michael McIntyre. He's a freaking 75 overall with hidden development. He's super fast. Oh, I might have to trade for him. I might have to trade for Michael McIntyre, but we had the option to take Will Hurts, or whatever his name, Walt Hurts. We had the option to take him, and I traded back with the 49ers to take him, or for them to take him. But we didn't need it. We didn't need it. We didn't need two amazing running backs. We have Bijan, who's an X factor. So it's not like we absolutely needed Walt Hurts. That would have just made things more confusing. But I really, really wanted Michael McIntyre. And I'll give you Dimukeji. And I'll give you Majay Sanders, because I've been looking to get rid of him anyway. And they don't want either of those guys. Understandable. I don't want them either. Left guard, we have a better left guard at Braden Jenkins. Ross Banks is bad. Right tackle is still pretty bad. Spencer Winslow falls in there. We don't have a right end, but that's why Will McDonald's going to play there. We have 3 good middle linebackers. I know I picked up the 5th-year option on Zaven Collins. We might trade him, actually. What else do they want? We have some decent corner depth, so I'll give you Marco Wilson. How do you like that? They don't like that. So let me throw in a draft pick. We have a couple of them now, but I can give you a 3rd-round pick next year. Trade offer accepted. So we bring in Michael McIntyre. That's what I wanted. That is what I wanted from the start. I think next episode we probably end up trading Zaven Collins. That's probably what's going to happen. I'm going to go to... What do I need to go to? I need to go to left tackle and turn... Clyde Buckley actually needs to start at left tackle. I didn't realize he needed to start at left tackle. Both of our positions are bad. So Antoine Buckley's going to start at right tackle then. I'm going to turn Will McDonald into an edge rusher. Going to turn him into a right end so that he can start there. And then McIntyre will start at left outside linebacker. Perfect. We have a couple middle linebackers, Will Anderson Jr. I'm just going to cut this guy straight off the bat because I'm tired of seeing the X or the blurred out name or whatever. So we're just going to cut him. We got a lot of corners. Okay. Is this team better than last year? Maybe. It might be. It might be better than last year. I don't know how we'll do in the simulation. But we've got Buckley starting. We've got Jenkins. So our 2 rookies are starting on the left side. The right side still needs a lot of work. The tight end spot is okay. Running back is okay with Bijan. Kyler Murray entering the 3rd season. Hopefully he does well. We brought in some good receivers. We have Brandon Ayuk and Christian Watson to help this receiving core. And then defensively, I mean, the defense looks good in terms of like raw development traits. We look really good. We need a couple more corners. But other than that, I mean, bringing in Quay Walker was big. Bringing in Davis Gaither was big. Bringing in Devin White was big. We redid this entire linebacking core. And they want Will Anderson to start over here. I'd probably prefer Anderson to start at right outside linebacker so that the rookie can play in the left side. So let's go to the depth chart and change that before we end this episode. So let's go. We have no backup quarterback, by the way. I didn't realize that. Let's go to left outside linebacker. Anderson and McIntyre will switch so that Anderson can go up and play starting right outside linebacker. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And I'm going to go sign a free agent quarterback before I forget, just to have somebody. I just need a body. Who do we get? Nick Mullins, Nick Foles. Nope, 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 nobody. Let's get Josh Dobbs. Super smart. Bring him in. Welcome to the team, Joshua. So now we have a backup quarterback. Okay, that's going to do for this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought of the second season. Do you think the team's better than last year? It's better overall-wise, but will that play out in simulation? I don't know. I still don't think we're ready yet. I still think we need 2 to 3 more years of building before we are actually ready. We still need to work on the offensive line. Obviously, right guard and right tackle are still very bad. We need to work on defense in terms of we need to get some more corners. We need to get another pass rusher because I don't think Will McDonald's going to be there unless he has a really good year this year and turns into a star development player. Maybe that'll help. But there's still some fine-tuning to do on the defense. On the offense is a different story because we need to work on a few things there. But I think we did better. I think we improved this team. We'll see how it does next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I truly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.